Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Adam Jason. I'm the founder of BRRRR.com, and we're in the last video of our 5-part video series about how to raise capital successfully from investors. So if you're with us, you know that our target has really been on those of you and those who are in the process of BRRRR investing where they want to do more deals and scale, and to do that, you think the best option is to invite other people, other investors to participate alongside you, where you're sourcing deals and you're presenting them opportunities where they can contribute capital to you. So just talking about where we've been and where we are now, we started out talking about in video 1 how to set up the right entities. In video 2, we talked about the strategy. Are you asking people to come in and invest in a single asset, a single family home, one multifamily project, or are you going with the fund structure where you give them your investment thesis? I'm going to invest in Class A properties in Raleigh, North Carolina, and if anything meets this criteria, I'm going to put your capital into it. In video 3, we talked about financial terms. What fees are you taking? What is your payment for bringing this all together and putting this all together on behalf of investors? Video 4, we talked about the practical and legal implications of all of this and what it actually means and how to go about it and things you have to be careful of when you are asking people to contribute money for their projects. I guess that's a good segue into a quick introduction if you haven't been with us. Again, my name is Adam Jason, founder of BRRRR.com. I'm a BRRRR investor myself. I've been building my own portfolio of BRRRR projects for the last 10 years. I'm also head of legal for a real estate firm based out of here in Medellin, Colombia. And our business is really doing BRRRR on a grand scale with hotel projects across the world. Before that, my specialty was in public and private finance, helping Fortune 500 companies and large investment banks on the legal side raise money for huge projects in the United States. So when we're talking about raising money and setting this up and how do you solicit capital from investors, I think I bring a unique combination to the table for you of somebody who's a BRRRR investor, understands the terms that should be included in legal documents and what deals should look like from a financial perspective, and obviously just having that experience doing BRRRR deals, but then also doing deals on a mega scale for huge clients. So let's wrap it up today with part 5 of the video series. And today our focus is on execution, operations. Who's going to actually run this portfolio of projects that you're putting together? Essentially, who's going to handle the property management aspect of all of these projects? If you're asking investors for capital, the one thing they're going to want to know is, okay, who's going to oversee this project? It's great that you found a great asset. It's amazing that you put this deal together, but who is going to be the one that handles these projects on a day-to-day? Who's going to do the maintenance? Who's going to make sure that we're getting appropriate tenants into our projects to make sure that we're going to see the financial returns that we're expecting, because we know the properties are cared for and we know that the people that are getting selected to live in the properties are the most creditworthy and able to pay. You can do this yourself or you can hire it out. Those are really your two options. In my case, I like to hire a property manager, one that I know, one that I vetted and interviewed. The risk that comes with that obviously is if you're the front-facing person for investors, you're always going to be their representative and the one they think of if things don't go well. So that puts a burden on you to make sure that the property manager that you bring in, the person that you're hiring, you're really doing the due diligence necessary to believe in that person. Hopefully it's somebody you've worked before. If you're at this point in building your portfolio, I would imagine that you have projects in your portfolio that you've done on your own or maybe with one other partner and have been able to find a property manager that you've come across that you'd be comfortable giving them a greater scale of operations based on this investment project, but basically somebody that you know and that you trust, because if something happens, the investors aren't going to ask that property manager, where's my money? They're going to always come back to you. If you're doing it yourself, what kind of fees and what kind of compensation should you be receiving for doing that? If you're going to run it as a short-term rental, so something like Airbnb or, a lot of high turnover, maybe you're doing it on, I would say anything less than a monthly rental basis, I think the market fees right now are in the 15 to 20% range. So if this is a business for you as well as soliciting capital for investment, I think a 15% to 20% collection of gross rents received is really kind of what you should be compensating yourself for. If you're renting these properties out on a longer term basis, so greater than a month, I think you're looking more at like a 10% range. So you want to make sure that if this is a job for you or somebody else that that they're getting compensated appropriately for it. Going back real quickly to the situation where you're hiring somebody out, it's going to be super important, and I would imagine that your investors are going to want to see the contract terms that you have with the property manager. As I mentioned, as a BRRRR investor, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've had the, call it benefit, but also misfortune of all the seeing the things that can go wrong if you don't have the right relationships set up with your property manager. So what I've done at BRRRRinvest.com, and I hope you decide to check it out, is made available to all of you the property management contract that I use with my property managers, that is done obviously with my legal background in mind and all the deals I've done, but also crafted based on the years of experience I've had where things come up and you learn from it, and then I've taken kind of my legal experience and wrapped legal language around it so that those things don't continue to happen and you can prevent those. So that your investors are comfortable, so that you're doing the best and exercising the fiduciary duty that you now are going to have to your investors, I suggest that you use the property management contract that we have that's based on the experience of an actual BRRRR investor, and it's drafted through the legal lens of somebody who actually knows what they're doing in this field. That brings us, I think, to the conclusion of our 5-part series. If you're going this direction and you're pursuing, a 506C offering, 506B, if you follow Bigger Pockets and you hear Brandon and those guys talk about, 506C offerings and raising money for huge projects, mobile home parks, etc., and you think that you need more guidance on this, you can always contact me and we can see how we can work together, whether it's in a legal capacity or more of a mentoring type relationship. My email is adam.j@brrrinvest.com, 4 R's obviously. Contact me there. Let's see what your situation is, what your objectives and your goals are, and see if we can't work together to get you through this process of setting up your entities, figuring out the financial terms, the projects that you're going to do, make sure you're working within the bounds of the legal requirements that surround this, and giving both you and your investors a successful project that allows you to find this financial freedom that we all seek through the BRRRR strategy. Thanks for being with me in this video series. Subscribe to the channel, continue to follow along with us. I'll be giving advice from legal aspects of BRRRR investing to just practical considerations, market and news updates, so you know what's going on and so that you can be the best at this as you possibly can and always put on a great face for your investors. Thanks so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.